What is up, awesome people of YouTube? I am just doing a quick video to inform you all that South Carolina now has a certified shooter. Te-Hina PaoPao, the junior from Oregon, has decided to go to South Carolina. That's right. She's going from a duck to a gamecock. Interesting. We're going to talk about her leaving Oregon. We're going to talk about like who Te-Hina is, a little bit about her leaving and what that means for Oregon. And also we're going to talk about what this means for South Carolina and how this will greatly benefit them next year in the tournament. Now, maybe some of you all are wondering, who is Te-Hina PaoPao? I've never heard this name before. That's probably because maybe you're not a Oregon Ducks fan and you haven't really watched them play this year or the last couple of years. Well, Te-Hina PaoPao is a certified shooter. She can shoot the three really well. She came to Oregon as a five-star player, ranked number 11 in the country in the class of 2020. In her senior year in high school, she just had a bunch of awesome accolades. She was the 2020 California Gatorade State Player of the Year. She was the Coastal League Player of the Year. She was the San Diego Section Player of the Year. She was the Max Preps California State Player of the Year. Lots of amazing accolades for Te-Hina because she was just balling in high school. And she decided to go to Oregon because she wanted to go to a place that was going to possibly win a national championship. When she decided to go to Oregon, that's sort of in the days of Sabrina Ionescu and Ruthie Hebert. And so like Oregon was a top dog when Te-Hina decided to go to Oregon. And as a freshman, she balled out at Oregon. She made the All Pac-12 list as a freshman. So she made the All Pac-12 freshman list, but also the All Pac-12 just regular list. And she only played 19 games in that season. That's because she had a very nasty ACL tear. And she was out for the remainder of her freshman year. So the time that she played the first 19 games for Oregon. She started all 19, played very well, but injury sidelined her. Her freshman year. And then her sophomore year, she got injured again. She tore her ACL again, I believe, before the season even started. So again, just got stuck with the injury bug and really messed up her first 2 years at Oregon. Last year, this past season, she balled out. She started all 35 games for Oregon. She scored, averaged around 13 points a game, four rebounds, 3 assists a game. And you guys are probably wondering, how is she a certified shooter when she's only scored 13 points a game? Well, let me tell you her percentage. She shot 42% from the three. That's 4th in the Pac-12 for 3-point shooting percentage. She made 81 3-point shots. It was the second most in conference history. And she tied for 6th most in a single season in Oregon history, University of Oregon history. Like, she can shoot, and she can shoot the three. She's not the best 3-point shooter in college basketball, but she can shoot. And this is exactly what Dawn Staley needs. I want to remind you guys of South Carolina's game in the NCAA tournament against Iowa. South Carolina was undefeated all year. They lost to Iowa because Iowa decided to dare South Carolina to shoot. Like we all remember this. It was a scene where Caitlin Clark just kind of did the flick of the wrist. I don't care about you. I'm not worried about you as a shooter. I think it was to Raven Johnson, I believe. Raven Johnson was just sort of like dribbling around the 3-point line, and they were sagging because they were like, we know you're not going to shoot. And if you do shoot it, we know you're not going to make it because, Raven Johnson is not the best shooter. And everyone knows that. And South Carolina as a whole, they just didn't really have outside shots this last year. Like, yes, occasionally they can shoot, but like they weren't a threat. Nobody was checking for them sort of on the 3-point line. It was down low that everyone was worried about. And Iowa dared them to shoot. They couldn't shoot, couldn't make the shots, and Iowa won. And you know, instead of South Carolina winning a back-to-back national championship, they watched LSU win a championship. And so Dawn Staley knew that she had to fix this hole. Like, South Carolina didn't really have very many weaknesses. Like, they were an excellent team. Their main weakness was the fact that they didn't have an outside shot. Now they do. Te-Hina is not the world's best 3-point shooter, but she's a great 3-point shooter, and she's exactly what Dawn Staley needs. So instead of having teams sag off, they're not going to sag off on Te-Hina. They're not, because they're afraid that she's going to make it. Because when Te-Hina gets hot, she gets hot and starts just making shots like crazy. She ended up finishing the season with... what was it, like 19 points? She averaged like 19 points for the last couple of games of Oregon's season this past year. If she can get going, she can score points. And Te-Hina is a point guard. She played as a point guard at Oregon, but going over to South Carolina, I don't think she's going to be the point guard for this team. She will, of course, start. Yes, that's for sure. But South Carolina currently has a starting point guard, Raven Johnson, and I think that Raven Johnson will be the starting point guard for next year. And Te-Hina will need to be a shooting guard for South Carolina. Raven Johnson is a great ball handler, and she's a great passer. She can't really shoot. That's really something that she needs to work on this offseason. I do believe that is something that she will work on, and something that Dawn Staley and the assistant coaches will make sure she gets better at. But you know, it makes sense to have Raven Johnson as the point guard, as a primary passer, and have Te-Hina PaoPao as someone who can spot up and shoot. Yes, Te-Hina is used to being the point guard, but I think she'll be just fine as a shooting guard for South Carolina. So yeah, that's the video. Te-Hina PaoPao is on her way to South Carolina. It really helps South Carolina for their 3-point shooting, and just allows teams to be able to play them a little bit closer, instead of sagging off like Iowa did. That's the video. What do you all think? Of course, there's still some question marks on South Carolina's part. Is Aneesa Morrow going to South Carolina, or is she going to USC? I know there's been folks who've messaged me and said, hey, Aneesa Morrow chose University of Southern California. She did not choose that as of right now. She went on an official visit, and she took some photos, and she put those photos out there. But she is still #not committed yet. So when Aneesa Morrow makes her final decision, I will make sure to make a video letting you all know what is going on. Thank you so much for watching this video. What do you think about Te-Hina? Have you watched her play at Oregon? What do you think about her 3-point shooting? How do you think she will help spacing when it comes to South Carolina next year? What do you think about Raven Johnson and having both Raven and Te-Hina start at the same time? Yeah, what do you think about South Carolina for next year? Whether they get Aneesa Morrow or not, do you think they have a chance of making the Final Four? I think with Dawn Staley as a coach, they always have a chance. But to me, they're still a bit borderline of a Final Four team right now. But what do you all think? Let me know your comments below. And there's been a lot of other transfer news happening. I will make a roundup video with just info about all the folks who have been leaving different schools and going to other schools. Also, one thing to note about Te-Hina leaving Oregon. Oregon had, I think, the number one They were number one in incoming freshmen for 2020. And all of the freshmen that they had in 2020 that was like really, really good in high school, they all left. And so, yeah, none of the players who were a part of the number one rated recruiting class is still at Oregon. What does this mean for Oregon as a program? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will maybe make a video talking more in detail about what I think about Oregon and also what's happening at Duke with all the players leaving. Yeah, so we'll make those videos later. But let me know your thoughts below about this video, and then also give suggestions about other videos you want to see. Thanks so much for watching this video, and until next time, guys. Bye.